A surrogate for the Ted Cruz campaign went on MSNBC and was asked a pretty direct question about secularism, and his answer is terrifying.
Pastor Gonzalez, what do you say to Americans who are more secular, who say what we don't want is to have a president in the White House who is essentially using his own personal faith to run the country when the Constitution has a separation of church and state?
Well, the reality of it is this idea of the separation of church and state is a myth. I mean, you bring your faith into the marketplace just like you do anything else. And so Ted Cruz will be a president, not just, who is a preacher or a pastor in the White House. That's not the idea. But I believe that all people, all Americans can rally around Ted Cruz because he upholds the Constitution. And I believe all Americans want to truly uphold the law.
Okay, he said separation of church and state is a myth, and then he said, fear not, Ted Cruz will uphold the Constitution. Wait, but separation of church and state is in the Constitution. So for you to say he'll uphold it, but he just won't, do the separation of church and state thing, well, then he's not upholding it. It's that simple. That doesn't make any sense. Now, really? This is the conversation we're having in 2016? Separation of church and state is a myth, this guy says. It's a myth. Let's go to, the very first sentence of the First Amendment. It says, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. So you know what that means? The government cannot establish a religion, so it can't say Christianity is the state religion and anything else is not, or it can't pick particular branches. Lutheranism, Protestantism, Catholicism, whatever. You can't pick that over other branches of Christianity. You can't pick religion over non-religion. So you cannot establish a religion. That is secularism. And then the second part of that just means we're not going to prohibit the free exercise of religion. So if you want to practice your religion, you have every right to practice your religion. The government's not going to stop you. You do whatever the fuck you want to do. It only becomes a problem when you try to force your religion on other people via law. So this is Secularism 101. The first part of the First Amendment is almost the very definition of secularism. Now, if that's not enough to convince you, which, you have to have a brick for a head if that doesn't convince you, but let me give you more here. Thomas Jefferson wrote a letter to the Danbury Baptists, wherein he said the following while describing the First Amendment, quote, believing with you that religion is a matter which lies solely between man and his God, the whole American people, which declared that their legislature should make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, thus building a wall of separation between church and state. Okay, so Thomas Jefferson, founding father, goes, yeah, if it wasn't clear enough, let me spell it out for you. This part of the First Amendment here that we're discussing, that means there is a wall of separation between church and state. It is secularism. It is the very definition of secularism. What does this jackass say? It's a myth. It's a myth, even though it's literally the first sentence of the First Amendment. It's a myth. No, it's not like there are any founding fathers like Thomas Jefferson literally saying the phrase, we have a wall of separation between church and state. Stop. No, see, these guys are theocrats. They're theocrats. They don't believe in a very important principle that was established at our founding here. And they do have a lot more in common with Saudi Arabia or Iran than they do with the United States of America. And that's fine, but just admit it. Just come out there and say, Allahu Akbar, say it. Come out there and say, I agree that the U.S. should be a Christian version of Saudi Arabia or a Christian version of Iran. And wear it on your sleeve, man. But let's be clear about the facts here, which is you'd have to fundamentally rework America and make it the opposite of what it is in order to do that.